This was not done to her. This was a choice she made. And everything she's complaining about is just the natural result of that decision. She thought she'd find something better, and what she found was reality. Enjoy it. You know how it goes. She leaves because she's unhappy, and then a few months later, she's online crying in her car, talking about cost of living being too high and how hard her life is. And suddenly, the man she walked out on, he's a villain, he's a narcissist. And this clip is just the latest episode in that exact same playbook.
So I see women on this app crashing out because of how horrible their ex-husbands are, their baby dads are, just ruining their life and just, making their life so difficult. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so horrible what those women are going through. And now I'm one of them. I filed for divorce 2 months ago. I've been trying to look for an apartment. And the places that I'm looking at, I need to make 3 times the rent to be able to rent them. And unfortunately, with my job, I'm a CNA. I don't make 3 times the rent. So I need a child support order to be able to add to my income so I can meet the requirement. And I've been trying to get into some sort of settlement with my soon-to-be ex-husband on that. And basically, he is blackmailing me, I guess. He wants me to sign away all rights I have to his military retirement. He is in the Army. He has been in for 18 years. He'll be retiring in 2 years. And I've been married to him the entire time. So the retirement's a marital asset. So I am entitled to part of it.
The irony in all of this. I've actually reviewed a video of hers before. I could link it below if you want to go check it out, but I can just tell you, she's all about being Miss Independent, telling women out there to not, don't rely on a man, saying how big of a mistake it is to depend on anyone but yourself. And yet, here she is saying, well, she needs child support from her ex-husband just to qualify for an apartment. My question is, what happened to all that independence? I thought you didn't want to rely on a man anymore. I thought you were done with that part of your life. You got this, girl. Go get your money up. Go chase your bag. Go be Miss Independent. But now that she's actually out on her own with a CNA income that doesn't even cover rent, the plan is to go ahead and lean on a man for child support. And while she's at it, squeeze part of his retirement as well. So she talks like she's the victim, but what she's actually describing is the natural consequence of trading in a family structure for, a freedom. And now she wants to act like he's the one being unreasonable because he doesn't want to hand over his military retirement after 18 years of service. This is the pattern. A woman leaves because she's unhappy, then realizes the comfort she had came entirely from his sacrifice. But instead of accountability, it's a spin. Now he's the villain because she can't afford life after walking away. He was such a dependable provider. He worked so hard to give you a cushy life where you could stay home with the kids and reflect on how unhappy you were. It's just like, wow, what a monster. What a monster. And now that you've decided to leave him, he doesn't want to hand over his retirement. Wow, what a trash human being. Am I right? Here's the rule, and I think it should be implemented. Whoever initiates the divorce doesn't get shit. Done.
Been going back and forth and fighting about it, and I just can't take it anymore. I just want to leave. I just want to move out, and I just want to start my life over. So I offer to sign away my right to the military retirement in return for spousal support and the entirety of the savings account that we have. I send the proposal to my lawyer and tell her this is what I'm proposing to do. And she comes back and says, well, this is a bad idea. And then she says, well, you could get a temporary order from the court for the child support, but that's going to cost you $4,000 in legal fees, and it may not be binding because it's only temporary, so you may not even be able to use that to really add to your income. And she goes into this long thing, which I appreciate. I appreciate her telling me the legal stuff, because she's basically telling me you are an idiot to sign this away. And she does all the numbers, and the numbers don't make any sense. Basically, I'm giving away more to get less. She's basically trying to persuade me to kind of wait this out till the final order happens, because it will go in my favor if I can just wait it out. But I can't wait it out because I have to stay in the house with this person.
These women love to bash their husbands online and then turn around and play the victim. The truth is, women like her, these stay-at-home moms, they have it made in the shade. And I really don't think women like her realize it until they leave. What's the saying? You don't know what you have until it's gone. We all need to check that sometimes, and be grateful for what we have. Appreciate what's in front of you. And, just like so many women like her, they fall into this divorce your husband TikTok rabbit hole, constantly being preached that it's greener on the other side. And you just don't really appreciate what you have until it's gone. And so here she is. She's realizing now that what she did have was actual freedom. And what she's walking into is reality, the real world, where you have to work. You have to stress and you have to grind to survive. She had it. She had the security. She had the comfort. She had the structure, but she walked away from it.
Yesterday, he called me the nanny. He said that I'm going to pay you child support and you're just going to be the nanny for my kids. When I told him, I need to try and stay in the district so our kids can keep going to their school, and the neighborhood that we're in is a little bit more expensive, so I need the child support order. And he said, it's not my problem. It's not my problem that you can't afford a place for them to live. In fact, I hope that's how it plays out, because I want the kids to see that you can't support them. I want the kids to see that you can't afford for them to live in a nice place. And I want them to know that they're going to have to go through a hardship because of what you did.
Now she's offended that he's calling her the nanny and whatnot. But maybe he's kind of offended she's divorcing him. Did she ever think about that? But I guess we can entertain it a little bit and break it down. She's asking him to pay so she can stay in the same school district. So she wants him to fund the environment she left. You left. Own it. Again, own it. He's basically saying your finances are no longer my problem. You're not my wife anymore. You decided to divorce. Now go through the ringer that entails. You're on your own. I'll see you in court. Now you're just a nanny to me. You're not my wife. You're just the caretaker to my children. And he wants the kids to see the reality. The reality being, their mom made this decision, and now the comfort that those children once had, a stable nuclear family, it's gone. You wanted freedom, this is it. You wanted to be the decision maker. That comes with responsibility. And now he's done shielding you from those responsibilities. He's being honest. And the truth stings a lot more when it's coming from the man you thought you'd rise above, doesn't it?
Pressure campaign that he's been putting me under for the last 2 months since I filed is really him trying to get me to drop the whole thing. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe he just wants me to drop the whole thing. If I went to him and I said, okay, I'm just going to drop the divorce, got rid of my lawyer, and then didn't do anything, I think he'd drop his lawyer and we would just go about life like before. I honestly believe that.
He wants his wife to drop the divorce. Man, how dare he? How selfish of him to not want his entire family torn apart, to not want to lose his savings and his retirement, to actually prefer staying married to the woman that he's been with for nearly 2 decades. The audacity. She frames it as manipulation, as if a husband wanting to stay married is now psychological warfare. It's probably true he would drop his lawyer if she dropped hers, and things would go back to normal, because again, he didn't file for divorce, she did. But that part keeps getting kind of buried under this victim narrative of hers, like she's fighting some sort of oppressive tyrant, when really she's kind of just fighting the very stability that she took for granted. The structure, the consistency, the security, it was all there. She just kind of decided, it wasn't exciting enough. It wasn't good enough for her. And now that she's facing the consequences of leaving, she paints him as a manipulator. Naturally, typical. A manipulator for wanting to keep his family together. Yes, we've reached this point to where a man trying to save his marriage is labeled controlling and manipulative and toxic. But a woman destroying it with lawyers and demands, it's called brave and empowered.
I just think he doesn't want to not be married anymore, to me. Not because he loves me or anything like that, but just because this is a big inconvenience to him. It's a big inconvenience, and he has to do all of these things he doesn't want to do, and all he wants to really do is just go to work, come home, play video games, watch some corn, and nap. And I'm disrupting all of his plans with my annoying, irritating divorce. This is very long, but I'm hoping that a woman's going to see me, see what I'm going through, and say to yourself, I don't want to go through that. And it could easily be me, because it could easily be you. I am not special. I'm not special or unique. I'm just a woman. I'm just a woman with 2 kids. What could happen to you, too?
So let me get this straight. He works hard. He comes home, relaxes, plays video games, maybe watches some corn, and takes a nap. That's the villain in your story? That's the man you want the internet to rally against? He's not cheating. He's not abusive. He's not partying or gambling or doing drugs or abandoning his kids. He's just peacefully existing. And that's the real problem, isn't it? You looked at a man who built stability and decided, well, that wasn't enough for you. Now suddenly you're disrupting his plans like that's some noble act of resistance to him. You think being a wrench in a man's peace is brave? And then she ends it with a warning to other women, like she's some kind of cautionary tale for how bad men can be, when all she's really done is prove how easily comfort can be thrown away by someone chasing something more. She had a husband, she had a home, she had a family. Now she has a small TikTok account where she's a slave to anti-husband rants just to scrape together some cash and trying to get an apartment she can't even afford. And this is the life she's telling other women that, they might end up in. No, this isn't something that just happened to her. It's something she chose. She had it all and she threw it away.